What's up, beautiful people? My name is Nikki Geis. Welcome to Unpretty. I just want to start off by saying thank you so much. This is the very first episode of a dream come true for me. I have had the goal, the hope that someday I would have a podcast, and it's taken me a minute. And the biggest reason it's taken me a minute is because I've been scared. I've been scared not to be good at it. I've been scared that no one's going to watch it. I've been scared that I'm going to get judged. And, as we all know, fear will keep you from doing everything you want to do in this life. And so, on this very first day of 2025, I just want to say thank you. Because if you're watching this, then one of my fears is gone, right? I have someone watching this. But I hope you come back time and time again, because my biggest hope is that I bring value. And I'm no expert on anything except myself. And I just want to help people. I just hope that the things that I've learned in my life can be of service and help other people. I'm an educator. I've been in education for over 20 years now. And that's the biggest reason I got into education, is because I wanted to be for my students what I wish I had. I want to impart on them wisdom that I wish I had at their age. I want them to have a better life sooner than my life. And I want all of those things for you too. So I titled this podcast Unpretty because that's how I've always felt. From even a little kid up until this very point in my life, I've always felt unpretty. I looked around at the people around me and I was like, man, why didn't God make me one of the pretty girls? And I'm okay with it now. I still struggle. I've always struggled with self-esteem and self-confidence. I'm a much more confident person now, and I'll take you through how that happens. But unpretty is how I've always felt. And I know that I bring other things to the table. I know that I'm not like what society would deem as like the most attractive or pretty woman in the world. And it's taken me a while to be okay with that, because I know that there are other things that hopefully are attractive in the way that it brings joy and happiness and hopefully help to others. I know that I have cool hair now, and I didn't think that when I was a kid. I know that I have a huge smile and I love to spread love and joy to everyone. And so I truly am okay with being unpretty, but it hasn't always been that way. And life definitely isn't always that way. Life isn't always pretty. Sometimes it's unpretty. And I grew up in the 90s. I was a teenager in the 90s, and so one of my favorite groups of all time is TLC. And if you remember, they have a song, very famous song called Unpretty. And listening to that song, I was like, gosh, this is how I feel. I feel unpretty. And it just encompasses so much about what I've been through in my life and how I see life as this imperfect, unpretty journey that we go on. And hopefully we can be there to help each other through it. So for this first episode, I wanted to tell you a little bit about why I'm pretty, and then why a podcast, and then hopefully encourage all of you to break through that fear that might have been holding you back from doing something that you've always wanted to do. I remember I was at a leadership conference, and I remember hearing this incredible story / metaphor for life. And I share it with my students. I want to share it with you. So it was this story of this man who was kind of learning from this guru and asking him all these different questions about life and the meaning of life, and imparting wisdom on him. And the guru says to him, he says, do you know the richest places in the world? And the guy's like, I don't know, like gold mines or diamond mines or coal mines. And he's like, no, the richest places in the world are not coal mines or diamond mines or gold mines. The richest places in the world are graveyards. And he was like, graveyards? How can graveyards be the richest places in the world? And the guru says to him, because in graveyards you will find songs not sung, books unwritten, right? Dreams unfulfilled, goals unaccomplished. And I was like, yo, when I heard that story, it like struck me. I like had a physical reaction to the story. And it's because it's so freaking true. I've been scared to do so many things in my life, to start this podcast, to go after having an apparel line, to be a teacher, to be an athlete. Like fear has gotten in the way of so many things in my life, and it gets in the way of so many people's lives and what they could actually do, what you could actually do. And I get it. I mean, I've delayed this for years and years and years because as human beings, it's natural for us to avoid things that might embarrass us, to avoid judgment, to avoid negativity that might come from other people, to avoid being the center of anything because then all the eyes are on you, right? And that feels very anxiety ridden. And it's not that I'm not anxious right now. I am. I just know that there's possibly at least one person out there that I could help by the things that I might say. And that was what one of my professors told me when I was becoming a teacher. I'll never forget it. She said to us, and I wasn't happy at the time that she said this, but she said, you're not going to get through to every student. And I was like, how dare you? That is my goal. That is, why are we here if we're not going to get through to every student? But she said, you're not going to get through to every student. But if you just change one student's life, it's worth it. And so here I am. And even if one person is helped by something that I might say in this episode or the episodes that will come after it, then it's all worth it. And I want to say the same thing to you. Whatever it is that you're after, whatever goals that you may have for your life, they're not put on your heart by mistake. There's something you're supposed to do with them. And, only you can do it, right? Like, there's a million teachers in the world, but there's certain students that only I can impact the way that I do it. There's certain lessons that I can specifically teach that for whatever reason, a student is going to look at me and see themselves in me. And that same thing applies to you and everybody in the world. Yes, there are millions of people doing podcasts. Yes, there are millions of people starting a clothing brand. Yes, there are millions of people teaching and singing and writing songs and producing and being construction workers and you name it. There's millions of people that will do those things. But there is only one you. You're the only one can do it like you do it. And that is special. That's unique. And so please do it and tell me about it, right? If what I'm saying ever resonates with you and it makes you think you can do it, let me know, right? Reach out to me and let me know that something that I said impacted you so that I can highlight you and what we're doing. Because this podcast, Unpretty, it's not about me. And that's what I had to realize. I had to get out of the way. And see, that's what fear will stop you from doing. It will make you think that it's about you. Fear will put the focus on us. And fear is one of the biggest enemies that we could have. Because in all actuality, our dreams, our goals, the purpose that we have in this life, it actually isn't about us at all. I heard this really cool, he looked like he was preaching to a church, and he was talking about a peach tree. And he said, a peach tree doesn't eat peaches, right? A peach tree just needs water. It just needs water so it can grow and bear the fruit, right? Bear the peaches. But the peaches aren't for the peach tree. The peaches are for the people who eat the peaches, right? And another thing that hit me super, super hard, right? So your gifts aren't for you. Just like the peaches aren't for the peach tree. Your gifts are not for you. My gifts are not for me. My gifts are for others. The things that I can do, the things that I've become good at, the things that I have learned, they're not just for me to keep inside. They're for me to share. And you have gifts and talents and things that only you can do the way you do them. And right now, you're actually doing a disservice to the world by not sharing those things with the world. There's someone out there that is waiting for someone just like you to say what you need to say, because you're the one that's actually going to impact them. When I was growing up, I didn't see a lot of people that look like me. I'm mixed with black and white. My dad is black. My mom is white. And this world, I haven't always known where I fit in. Do I fit in with the white kids? Do I fit in with the black kids? Do I fit in with the mixed kids? Where do I belong? And so it's caused me to have a little bit of anxiety about where I belong in the world. And it doesn't feel like that totally anymore. But I know that those are some things that oftentimes will hold me back. And it's because when I was growing up, I didn't see anybody that looked like me doing anything great. And on top of that, I had people telling me that I would never make it. And so that became a barrier for me. And maybe it's a barrier for you. Maybe you haven't seen anybody that looks like you doing anything great. I feel that, right? I can resonate with that. And so sometimes when you don't see somebody like you doing what you want to do, you can think that it's not possible. And that's a very, very real block and very real fear to have. And I just want to tell you that maybe it's because you're supposed to be the one that starts it. Because there are people younger than you, older than you, same age, but there are people out there that are waiting for you. They're waiting for you to do what you do so that they can be inspired, so that they can be empowered, so that they can feel like they can do it. And so it's tough to do things that you haven't seen people like you do, but it's not impossible. And we cannot let fear stop us from what we're supposed to give, from the gifts that we're meant to share, from the people we're supposed to impact, from the people that are supposed to look at us and say, if she can do it, me too. So please, even if you have waited as long or longer than me to get started, this Unpretty podcast has been in the works for, I don't know, somewhere around 7 to 8 years at this point in time of when I had the idea of starting it. And so I've waited a while. And I know some of you have waited even longer than me. Let this be that message that you need, that aha that you need, whatever you want to call it. Let this right here be the message that you needed, that it's time. It's time for people to see you. It's time for you to set the fear aside. Understand that it's not about you or me. It's about who can be impacted by what we have to say and how we do what we do. I hope that you come back. I hope that I can help. I hope that this has empowered you, has inspired you to go out and do what you do the way that only you can do it. This has been Unpretty. I'm Nikki Geis. I'll see you next time.